Skills give us a greater sense of confidence in ourselves, and that alone is possibly enough to help us start to build trust in our ability to drop off to sleep. Of course, skills take some time and some effort to develop, and it's a good idea to develop a strong intention to develop the skill over time. And it's also important to be patient with ourselves and kind with ourselves about the pace at which we do develop the skill. In the clouds are some of the skills and attitudes that we can develop to help us to drop away from the struggle. We'll explore some of these in a bit more detail now. Think of something we can't control, like the weather, for instance. So we can complain about the weather and moan that we're wet and we can't go out and do the things that we might want to do. But this additional complaining doesn't stop it raining. It just makes us feel even more miserable about the rain. The other route that we can take is to just accept the fact that it's raining. And again, this doesn't stop it raining, but it can make us feel an awful lot calmer and accepting of the situation, and also perhaps more able to think of something different that we might do. And of course, trying to make ourselves go to sleep is just as useless a cause as trying to make it stop raining. The only thing we can do with sleep is to make room for it to happen. Now, acceptance is a skill, and like any skill, it can be learnt, just like juggling or cooking. Now, juggling might make us popular at children's parties, but acceptance is what we need on the long road to getting a better night's sleep. So, in order to begin to develop the skill of acceptance, just see if you can sit and bring your attention to the present moment and what's going on right here and now. So as you pay attention, just notice, are you struggling with anything? Is the one part of your mind saying that acceptance is a good idea, but another part of your mind is saying that it's just giving up? You don't have to do anything about these thoughts, just notice them. Just notice what they're doing and what they're saying. Are you thinking about the future? What if this happens? What if that happens? What will I do? What's for dinner? Or memories of the past, things that have happened. Memories are like the rain. You can't change what's happened in the past. All you can do is make room for the memories. Let's do an exercise in accessing the present moment. So just sit comfortably, however that is for you. You don't have to sit in any particular way, just be comfortable. And begin by noticing 4 or 5 things around you that you can see. Try not to think too much about them. Try not to name them or judge them in any way. Think of then, notice 3 or 4 things that you can hear. And then you might notice something that you can smell, a scent on the air. And notice any sort of taste in your mouth. And as your mind settles into the here and now, just perhaps set yourself the intention to practice this quite simple exercise fairly often. You can find that even in the most stressful moments, that coming into the here and now is quite a nice place to be. So you hopefully had a bit of practice at noticing things outside of yourself using the previous exercise. Now we're going to have a look at the slightly harder skill of noticing things inside of ourselves. With these exercises, it is important to actually have a go. So actually listen to my voice and just let me guide you through the exercise. And if necessary, at the end of the little section, then maybe pause the video and have another go yourself. So let's take a few moments to just look inside and see what's there, see what the mind is doing. So approach this with a sense of curiousness and try to imagine it's the first time you've ever done anything like this. So just turn your eye inwards, turn your attention inwards and see what your mind is doing. Maybe you can just let thoughts pass through like clouds passing across the sky. And perhaps you can just look at them without judging them, without saying whether they're good thoughts or bad thoughts, just letting them be what they are, and without trying to change them in any way. Literally just noticing, just watching the thoughts. If you want to, you can give each thought a label, such as sad thought, angry thought, curious thought, bored thought. This helps to stay somewhat detached from the thought without getting too caught up in what it's saying. Perhaps you can also notice that lots of things that pass through the mind are thoughts. Just about everything that passes through the mind is the thought. And maybe have a think about, am I my thoughts? Or are thoughts just something that I do? You might find yourself thinking there's no thoughts, but just notice you're thinking there's no thoughts. That's a thought. Or you might think there's too many thoughts, it's driving me crazy, I can't keep track of all these things. But notice that too, it's just a thought. So just notice, just watch. Just watch what's happening and watch how you react to what's happening. Just watch. Caution. Try not to fall into the trap of using these noticing exercises as a way of trying to make yourself go to sleep or trying to force yourself to relax. If you think about it, that's back to struggling. The fact is that noticing exercises like this can be quite soothing, and that can lull us into the idea that they're about relaxing and that they're about controlling relaxing. But they're not, they're just about noticing. If you get the relaxation, if you get a soothing response to it, then that's a bonus. But you can notice when you're completely agitated and it's still noticing. The other thing to be aware of is that when we do these kind of things, it's quite normal for the mind to wander. Everybody does it. The people in the East call it the monkey mind because it jumps around all over the place. And that's fine. Just notice when the mind wanders off and bring it back gently to what you were paying attention to.